Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zon back at you. Anyways, man, before I even get into what I want to talk about, which would be Gayle King and her sidekick. Well, actually, no, she's actually the sidekick of Oprah, but, you know, for this situation in particular, Oprah is in fact the sidekick because she's the one really out in the in media really right now trying to keep people off of Gayle's head and trying to condemn those who say certain things about Gayle, just like a lot of people are just on people. Like if you say anything about Gayle King, it's funny, you got all these black people that come in and want to protect her, when in other situations, let it be another race, they gonna persecute her. But don't get me wrong, there's just as many blacks out there on her head, and probably if they could actually run into this chick, they probably would do her something bad. I don't think nobody's gonna go as far as like try to kill her, but they would probably beat her up. But it's just because what she said was in bad taste. And when you think about it, it's like the man just died, his daughter just died, and not to mention the fact that them just dying, because a lot of people are forgetting the fact that a lot of other people died in that crash. But due to the fact that Kobe is who was what he was and still is a legend, people are gonna feel some type of way about it. Excuse me, crush, you know what I mean? But my whole thing is like this, man. You know, when Gayle King went on TV and she said something along the lines like her station only edited certain parts in, and people got the wrong idea because they didn't put the full interview in. That let me just point something out. If you look at that interview, or if you just look at the little piece that they put out before they actually released the whole video or the whole interview, there was no edits in between. Every time she asked Lisa Leslie why did she think that Kobe was a rapist, and then she started going into more details, and then Lisa Leslie would in turn tell her, you know what, I don't believe it, you know what I mean, that was basically my boy, and you know, I'm sticking to my guns. And she would try to circumvent that and go up under and try to rephrase the question slightly, but are you sure, you know, as a woman, like that, all that feminist movement and all that, trying to bring it into play, that had nothing to do with the fact that a man lost his life, and the person that accused him of rape recounted her testimony and didn't want to testify, not due to the fact that she was afraid, because it's not like Kobe went out and threatened her like he was going to kill her. It's just a simple fact. She knows what she did. She paid the money to the guy in order to be able to take that liquor up to him, and she put herself in that position. And this is not to be gross, but she had multiple traces of semen within her before she had even participated in that alleged action with Kobe. But this is like, look at, man, I don't come on here and I'm not trying to be politically correct, and I'm not going to go and say, oh, I'm a hardcore Laker fan, because if in fact you know me, you know I'm a Suns fan. But that don't stop me for repping for the city and repping for somebody that's not here to talk about or talk for themselves. Where Gayle King messed up, it's understandable. She's a journalist. She can go after certain stories, but that right there was like a sore subject. You know, and this is talking to Gayle King, that most people in Los Angeles are either Laker fans or they're King fans. And for the most part, it's a gang of Laker fans. So you got Laker fans all over. A King died and his daughter died. And a lot of things his daughter might not have known and should have known, you brought them up. That was something for her mom to sit down and have a conversation with her, like, you know what? And that's if she chose to, you know what I mean? Which most likely she would have. But at that age, it was no real need for her to get into certain certain conversation with her daughter, because at the end of the day, the daughter's going to believe what she's going to believe anyway, and for the most part, she's going to believe her dad. And then when you weigh the evidence, you start figuring out exactly what's going on, which a lot of women now do. A lot of women nowadays, and been doing for years, the same thing. Try to latch onto a fool, and when she can't hook him, the first thing she want to scream is some type of rape. And that's not to downplay anybody's case that have ever, you know, been in a situation so they have got raped, because there's some that actually have been, and they were able to put the knife to their accuser, you know what I mean? Basically, they won the case and people saw that they were really telling the truth. But there's a lot of people out there making up stories and talking about what have happened, and it never did. It's just they did it in order to get money, and you can see it. It's because no amount of money will stop the pain and suffering of knowing somebody violated you and there was nothing you can do about it. Every day you're going to go to sleep knowing that this man violated you. See, so and I'm not gonna get in, like, let me just jump off the rape thing, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I hate rapists. I don't like child molesters. I don't like nobody that feel like they physically need to take something from another woman or man. It's like if a person tells you they don't want it, you know what I'm saying, they don't want it, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, for anybody has actually been through that, there is numbers out there where you can call. Don't let it go by, you know what I mean? I'm not an advocate for the police, but I'm saying if you've ever been in that situation, somebody try to take something from you, yeah, as far as like, you know, you should go do what you do, you know what I mean, and make sure they pay so they can go to jail, and guys like me that used to be incarcerated could put something to them, because I mean, you do certain things. They're already castrating people in another state, but that's besides the point, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't want to go too far on Gayle. At the end of the day, to me, she's a trash ass individual. Oprah's just as trash as her for backing her up, but I can understand they've been friends for years, but it's kind of funny, you know what I mean? I could go into so much shit about Oprah and the fact that, you know, Stedman and, you know, refused the kids, and, you know what I mean, and the fact that everybody think her and Gayle are, you know what I mean, but that's speculation, you know what I mean, and your boy ain't on here to speculate. I'm just here to tell the real. At the end of the day, Gayle King fucked up, and she knows she fucked up. So all this, oh, she's afraid for her life. You knew when you went on social media, when you went on TV and you actually conducted that interview, you could have refused. You could have allowed somebody else to do it. Everybody's calling for that one chick that said that she didn't mean to say the N-word. She was saying something else. She's mixing two certain things. People were on her head to get her removed. You had even Caucasian people doing the same exact thing. And even though this is not a race thing, which I think sometimes Gayle King and Oprah try to outperform in order to be accepted by a certain group, and that's not white people in general, that's the people that got that money, the ones that really control shit. I think that's who they be trying to show out for, because you figure Oprah's boy that she's always kicking it with, you notice they ain't go at none of these fools that have any of these type of cases when it's rape or it's this child that. For somebody that was, you know, allegedly molested when they were a child, you would figure those are the type of people she would go after. But nah, she refuses to do that. She likes to go after Richard Simmons. She went after R. Kelly, and R. Kelly's a trash individual, but they made sure that they went out of their way to persecute them. And like I said, it's not a race thing, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, your boy, I run with a whole different group, but I'm still you know, sensitive to certain things and things of that nature. When you purposely tear down the person, just not just because they're crying, but because they're race, you know, that's when people should actually speak up. And Gayle King should lose her job. That's just plain and simple fact. She should lose her job. And if it wasn't, and even if she's not the one that instigated it, she should just resign and move to a different channel. If it's ABC that in fact made her say and do certain things and try to get her in trouble with the black community, because that's pretty much. And you know what? Let me take that back, because you're not only in hot water with the black community, you're in trouble with Hispanic community, you're in trouble with a lot of the white community. You're in violation of so many rules by bringing up that cat's past thing that he actually, you know, beat. You should have just left that alone, especially just due to the fact that this dude just died. You know what I mean? Like I said, I could be on here calling her every B in you know, in every cuss word in the book, but there's no need to do that. I think she knows exactly what she did, and somebody, you know what I mean? I don't think physically, but somewhere that's karma. When people go out of their way to destroy their race in order to appease another one, it always comes back on them. And like I said, I don't do no race baiting. I don't do no one versus the other, because there's just as many whites that are cool. There's just as many this. Like, everybody has their fault. So it's nothing about race, because when it came down to Kobe Bryant, that was a king of Los Angeles, and everything about him, you know what I'm saying, was about the city. And that's why people are up in arms. People like to say racism all the time, but if you go out on the street, you see Mexican dudes with Kobe Bryant on them, Black Mamba, you got all this. People really came together when he died. And like I said, that's why people are so mad. So for Gayle King to feel like people shouldn't have the right or should refrain from saying things, and for the blacks that you know, I see on Facebook with your stupid comments and about, you know, what would happen to Snoop and happen to this. Like, at the end of the day, she said what she said. She decided to pursue what she wanted to pursue, and now she's in trouble and she got to deal with it. It's funny when you come at a certain community and they come together, it's a lot of power behind that. Just like if you disrespect, it's like if you disrespect somebody that was a legend to the Hispanics, they're gonna come at your head. If you ain't gonna go out of your way to diss nobody that's white. You're not gonna go in there and bash Trump because you know what's gonna happen. All your little supporters and all the ones that are on your team, they're gonna start falling like this. Whether you can continue to say that you guys are Democrats, you guys ain't Democrats. You're fucking puppets for the system, and they use you like you're puppets. A lot of people that's defending these people, they're rich. They don't give a fuck about you or your community, and that's just plain and simple fact. Because you notice every time somebody black does something, that's the first people they come at. They ain't going at this dude inspector, and they ain't none of that. You know why? Because that's they bread and butter. They don't want to anger people on this level. They don't want to be seen as the blacks that go after certain rich white people because they'd be ostracized. You know what I'm saying? So they'll keep going after people that are you know what I'm saying, that are of another ethnicity that have made it to a certain stature. They quick to tear them down. You see Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, you know what I'm saying, Kobe died, you know what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm no angel, but I'm not stupid enough to speak up on somebody's death, knowing that not just an entire city, but people in other countries are going to be feeling some type of way about it. And for that, Gayle King, you get the dick. You know what I'm saying? You should go crawl up under a rock for about 5 or 6 years and really seek repentance, and not necessarily from the masses as far as us, but you need to get with God or something, because that was just trash. You made yourself a trash individual when you decided to speak on a dead man, you know what I'm saying, and his daughter, and just for the simple fact that his daughters will now see that interview. You know what I mean? It's like the man is died, let him rest in peace. And just like that, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. Like I said, man, I ain't no social justice warrior. I ain't nothing like that. But when somebody speak on somebody that really was something to the city and just all around just wasn't a bad person, of course I'm going to really say something about you. It's just like when somebody speak up on the homies, I'll be quick to jump down their throat, you know what I mean? Because it shouldn't be tolerated. And it's not for the views or anything, because I could have came on here and did like everybody else and be like, rest in peace, Kobe. But you know what I mean? It's like, R.I.P. Kobe anyway, but I didn't make no videos about it. Not that it's wrong. It's just for the simple fact that the man is resting in peace, you know what I mean? And it's a sore subject to have something constantly thrown up in your face. There's so many media outlets that his kids and his wife is going to see, and and they want to mourn. And when everybody comes on there and acts like they were his best friend, you know, sometimes it causes a lot of drama that don't need to be had, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's like somebody taking your dead homie and constantly throwing it in your face. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I refrain from doing the R.I.P. Kobe video. But I will get on Gayle King. I could go on you so hard, Gayle King and Oprah, but you're just not worth it. You're one of those people that, you know, it's easy for you to tear down your own people. You ain't doing nothing for them. You ain't putting no money in the community. They ain't doing nothing like that. And any excuse that to not do it, you use. You'll go put it in Africa, but that's not, you don't live in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, they're impoverished. Well, you know, we were once over there too, and, you know, we got sold over here. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Africans, but, you know, do your history. But that's besides the point, man. Gayle King, like I said, man, hopefully, you know what I mean? Hopefully you do get by it, because people do make mistakes, but you're just stupid to speak up on the king. And you get what you got coming to, you know what I mean? Oh, and there's some chick that says something along the lines to Snoop, like I guess she was part of like a she was part of the security team for like one of the presidents. Like, yeah, you don't want to come this way. Do you understand that nobody is going to go out of their way to go get this chick? Now, if she was walking the street somewhere and there was nobody paying attention, somebody might do something. There's a lot of crazy people out there. So hopefully she go crawl up under a rock. You can refrain from making threats to people that really don't pay you no mind. But like I said, I got other videos coming up, but I just wanted to put this out real quick because it's fuck Gayle King on mine, and Oprah too, and anybody that support them. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? R.I.P. Kobe, and R.I.P. to his daughter and everybody that died in that plane crash. Let's not forget that. And on that note, I'm your boy Zod, and hopefully I'll be back with, I got some shit like these. It's some shit, man. I've been trying to do my podcast, you know what I mean? I'm putting in, that's why I haven't really been on here. But pretty soon I'll be right back at you. So on that note, I'm your boy Zod, and I'm out.